So the NBA has a massive, and I mean massive, gambling problem. Obviously, the whole Jonte Porter situation is crazy, but a tweet from Shams and some of the stuff that's going on with him really has exposed how big of an issue that this is. Just how crazy this type of stuff goes. And it really just shows, do people that are NBA insiders, are they trying to rig the odds? Are they trying to force people into gambling? Are they trying to put stuff out to try and make people more likely to bet on certain things? Who knows? But the fact is that the questions are now open, and it has become, and it is going to become, a even bigger issue as the years go on for the NBA. Before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 6,500 subscribers as soon as possible. We can do that by tomorrow. That would be insane. And do not worry, you will never see a gambling sponsor on this channel. If you guys know me from 2K, I'm so against it, and you'll never see a insert gambling sponsor here or fantasy sports sponsor and pretend it's not gambling sponsor here. Other than sometimes, maybe if so rare, ask me maybe, because I feel that's something completely different. Either way, it is what it is. Now let's get on to the video. So Shams put out a tweet yesterday saying that the Los Angeles Lakers were zeroing in on JJ Redick being their head coach. And it turns out that it's looking like it's going to be Dan Hurley from UConn that's going to be the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers, and not JJ Redick. Everyone just assumed that Shams knew what he was talking about. And now he's after saying that, or a year ago he said that it was looking like the Hornets were zeroing in on Scoot Henderson at number 2, even though at the same time Woj was out here saying no, number 2 is going to be Brandon Miller. He said Scoot Henderson was going to be. And at the exact same time, or in and around those tweets, the bettings were starting to swing. Like, people were starting to throw money on Scoot Henderson. And who knows, maybe everyone was putting in money on JJ Redick. But how are we meant to know? How are we meant to know, like, the effect of Shams on the odds, or on the amount of money these companies are making? But he's a FanDuel partner. He's literally sponsored. He is a partner with a gambling company. And his job is to tweet out insider information that directly can affect gambling odds. And the fact is that since he's become a FanDuel partner, he's been wrong more often than before that. Could it be coincidence? Yeah. Is it probably coincidence? Yeah, it is. It probably is coincidence. I don't think Shams is going out of his way to try rig anything. I really don't. But the problem is that now, with that FanDuel sponsorship, with the fact that the NBA is now in bed with gambling companies, you can't really rule that out, can you? You're seeing more and more in the NBA people throwing up money signs. You're seeing more and more in the league, players accusing refs of match fixing, players accusing fans accusing players of point fixing. We've seen Jonte Porter missing shots. We've seen him intentionally missing shots. Apparently, he got into such bad gambling debt that he had to basically had to throw games to pay it off. And now he's banned for life. So he's not the first person to have done this, by the way. He just made it obvious. And the reason why it was so obvious was that right before he went off holding his eye, or to be fair, the illegal gamblers who were betting on him were just dumb, but he also banked a shot and got annoyed that he banked a shot in. He was trying to miss and he was scoring. But at the end of the day, it really is with the NBA. Gambling has become so ingrained in the sport that it's hard. Not that it's hard to watch without thinking about it, because I think if you're not ingrained in the whole NBA discourse, whether it be on social media or the media, you will not notice these type of things. But you're now seeing it with the NBA Finals. There's never been a bigger discrepancy between Vegas odds and the predictions of experts. There upsets happen, but the odds would show that Dallas beating the Celtics would be a historic upset. And if you ask 100 people on the streets, I would say it would be close to 50-50 between Dallas and the Celtics. But yet, it would be one of the most historic upsets of all time, according to the bookies' odds. So a lot of people are saying, if Dallas are coming, if it's looking like Dallas are going to win, the referees, you know what, they're going to rig the game. So any bad calls that go against the Mavs late on in games are going to look like they're rigged. And you know what? With the optics, it makes complete sense. It is really hard because of how involved the NBA has become with these betting companies. They're not going to probably want these betting companies to lose millions and millions and millions of dollars, because with the way the odds are, I can almost guarantee you that more bets have been put in for Dallas than anyone else. And they're going to lose big time if Dallas win. So who knows? Who knows? Could it be rigged? Could it not be rigged? Probably not rigged. Let's be real. Probably not rigged, but the questions are still there. And that even comes down to the NBA media as well. I would say 80 to 90% of basketball-related content on YouTube is currently partnered with or has been sponsored by plenty of gambling sites. The only one that you could even argue that I've taken is So Rare, and I took that on my basketball channel with the agreement of I am never mentioning anything to do with the paid game. I'm only talking about the free game, which is very different than like people advertising. I'm even seeing it here. Like YouTube channels literally advertise deals on gambling sites. They're like, oh, we're on X gambling site. They have a new promotion where if X player scores 1 point, you win. You win $50 if you sign up now. And I'm like, come on now. Like, this is getting really, it's just getting really bad. And I think the only other YouTube channel that I've seen, like, there's definitely others that I've seen, but one that takes a really hard stand on it is Heat Check. And obviously from Europe. With me being from Europe myself, gambling advertising is illegal in some countries in Europe. Gambling has been legal for a lot longer in Europe than America, so we have we're able to see firsthand the negatives that are brought with gambling addiction. We can see firsthand how much of a bad thing gambling can be, especially gambling being as prevalent and as in your face it is, how bad it can be for society. So that's the reason why I'm not touching it. But you're seeing more and more basketball media. Look, everyone's being sponsored by it. There's so much money in it. It's the reason why, like, since I've started up this channel, I'm getting more and more gambling companies looking to long-term partnerships, and it's just gonna be a no. Even more so than for years with 2K. Like, I've had to constantly get onto them. Same people message me over and over again, being like, I have no interest. It's really hard to get away for it, and the money's better than AdSense in a lot of situations. So I can see why YouTubers and creators would take it. But it really is, like, it's so hard to be around the NBA now without just seeing gambling everywhere. Seeing gambling in your face. We've already had, and this has only been the case for maybe 2 years. Only been the case for about 2 years. And we've already had the first instance of match fixing. And that's the first instance where match fixing got caught. There's definitely been match fixing. There's been point shaving. There's been everything in the last couple of years. They just weren't as dumb as Jonte Porter with it and hadn't been caught. We're seeing situations now where Shams has gotten 2 major things wrong in the last year. And people are starting to really be like, oh, you are linked with FanDuel. Is it FanDuel you're linked with? It doesn't really matter which one he's linked with. Are you trying to, like, tweet this out so that people start betting and then suddenly it's wrong? And then the betting companies, if you get a bet wrong, you lose anyway? Who knows? Like, if I was Shams, I would have gotten rid of that gambling sponsorship, but there's just too much money in it and there's not enough people calling it out. But the NBA has a huge, huge gambling problem. It's only going to get worse. The fact that this is all the stuff that's happening within a year. There's the conspiracies, there's everything. And the fact that gambling companies are everywhere, they have, with the amount of money they're paying out to everything, they have to be making so much more money. They have been making billions and billions and billions off the NBA to put in the advertising literally everywhere. You cannot go anywhere. Anything to do with basketball, you cannot look at without seeing gambling in your face. Whether you're there on ESPN, whether you're listening to a podcast, whether you're watching a YouTube video, whether you're just at the game and you're probably seeing, actually no, fair, I don't know about at the game, but I'm guessing at the game you're probably seeing like DraftKings or stuff everywhere. Probably shouldn't have named these, but like, you can't get away from it. You actually can't get away from it, and it's scary. And trust me, if you are American and you think it's not a big deal, in 10 years time it's going to be a huge, huge deal. Gambling addiction is going to cripple so many people's lives. It's going to financially ruin people, and Americans, this is only just the start.